Hi guys, Glenn VK4NGA. Well, about a week ago I was checking out eBay, as you do, and I found that these were discounted. So this is a Chinese jumbo spot, so it's listed as an MMDVM hotspot complete RTQ, ready to QSO. So I thought, well, I'm going to buy one and then I'm going to pull it apart, see what's inside, see what kind of quality we're looking at on the MMDVM board, and have a look at the software and see if we can get it going. So this video will take a little while because I'm going to pull this thing apart and we're going to then plug it in and fire it up and see if we can get the thing going. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the antenna off. First thing I notice is the, get it in shot there, the film, the protective film is still on the display. So that's the first thing I notice. So you can't get that off unless you take the cover off. Second thing I notice is the SD card is, let's have a look at it, see if I can get you guys to see it. It's no brand, 8GB. Now I've heard a lot of people on, I've seen a lot of people on the forums and on the Facebook groups say that those SD cards are a real problem. So I'm not going to even keep this SD card, I'm going to throw it. But for this experiment, and we're going to, I've already put it in my card reader and dropped my Wi-Fi file onto it. So hopefully when we boot this up, it should see my Wi-Fi, and we'll see what happens. So let's take the cover off. So you've got to grip it like that, grip the ends and then pull the cover off, work around the sides. Some are really tight, this one's tight. Oh, it's really tight. You got to be careful, you don't want to break the SMA off. So just gotta, oh yeah, it's coming off now. Just got to really be careful guys, when you pull these off you can do damage. Sure, it's tight. I'm really having to work this, put a lot of pressure on it. It's coming off, here we go. Okay, I'll put that aside. Probably one of the things I do notice is, before we get into the guts of it, is the quality of the case is pretty good. It's different to the cases I've been buying from China. I normally buy the silver cases for the hotspots I've built for different people. And this it seems a bit thinner, slightly different in its design, but nonetheless it's good, does the job. So well, instantly, I'm not going to peel the film off till I fire this up because I want to make sure it's good, otherwise if it's no good I'm going to send it back. Instantly I recognise the board, and that's actually a decent quality board. That, if you can see it there, yeah, SMA soldering job looks pretty neat. It's not soldered, fully soldered both sides. Looking inside it, you can't see it but I can, looking inside the underside, it's pretty neat. The Pi 0 looks dinky die, looks like the real deal. So hardware wise it looks okay. A lot of the boards that were coming out of China for a long time had gold on them, and they had an orange reset switch here, and a lot of people complained that they had problems with them. But even the oscillator on these boards is pretty reasonable quality in terms of being on frequency. Okay, so let's put the SD card in and see if we can get it to power up and see if we can get into the dashboard. Okay, so sit it down now and put the antenna on it. Hands everywhere in this video, but anyway, I'll just let it boot up. Oh, I've got to tell you about the instructions. This is very funny. Okay, so they've gone to the trouble to write out these instructions, and geek techies, the MMDVM DMR tutorial. Well, I've had a good read of this, guys, and I tell you what, it's pretty funny. It's very confusing, and I tell you, if you read this and you worked on the hotspot for the first time to try and get it going, I pretty much guarantee it'll be a failure. You'd be on the Facebook groups asking a bunch of questions, because first step there, connect the wired network, modify the call sign. Well, you can't connect to a wired network on a Pi Zero, so anyway, let's have a look. Okay, so I'm going to keep that just for a laugh, but it really belongs in the bin with the SD card. Okay, well, turn it over. It's going, and looks like several modes are enabled, because the little blue, white and green LED you can see rotating there, all those LEDs, they're rotating, so, and the screen is already switched on, so somebody's been in there and switched that on, because that doesn't normally come on with a fresh Pi-Star image. You've got to enable that, so that looks promising. So I'm just going to log in to the Pi-Star dashboard, and then I'll swing the camera around. Okay, so just give me a second, guys, and I'll just get the camera so you can see what I see. I want you to see this. This is pretty funny. Okay, so whoever B7 QSR is, he's just zoom that out a bit. Hopefully you can see that okay. Whoever that ham is, he's got this thing fired up. The first thing I can see is just here there's a split. It's also running very old firmware. There's a split here, so this is set up. This SD card, this card is set up for D-Star repeater. So this is set up for a duplex hotspot, not a simplex. So that's the first thing I see. See here, DMR repeater. He's got his DMO number in there. I mean, I could just go on air. I could configure this and go on air and just be him. Unbelievable. Alright, we're going to the config and have a look. Okay, so, it's old. Pi-Star 3.4.11. I've never seen that before. That's before my time. Dashboard 20180310, so that's over a year ago. So this is old. So really this image is very old. We'll see if we can get it working. Yeah, here we go. Let's set up MMDVM host duplex repeater. So first of all we need to change it to a simplex node. These are the things. So this is not ready to QSO, because we need to make some changes. I'm going to switch D-star and YSF off because I just want to test it on DMR. So I'm going to put my call sign in there. Now it's remembering it from previous installations, so that's good. My DMR ID, and I'm not going to change the frequency yet. I'm going to apply that, and then because I noticed down the bottom there it's selected as Zoom Spot Raspberry Pi hat, so that's the wrong modem, so I need to change that. But we'll apply these changes. Hopefully you can see that okay. It's kind of not the best option to do a video of a screen, but it'll do for this job. As I've said in my videos, I don't edit them. What you see is what you get. All happens live. Okay. So there you go. We've gone to simplex radio frequency, so we can change that. So my I'm going to go to Brandmeister, so that sits on in the code plug 439.125. I don't need to change any of that other stuff. Yeah, this is really old, this so I'll just apply that. Then I'll make the changes to the modem type. So currently the modem's showing, if I can stretch the power cord, it's showing, oh yeah, it's come alive again. So we're back to one mode, red flashing light and a green light on all the time, or LED I should say. Okay, so let's set this to STM32, which is what these are, and we'll just scroll up and we'll get rid of the DMR gateway. So we need Brandmeister 5051. There we go. See if we can do all that in one go. Well, looking at that setup, they advertise these as fully tested. That card hasn't been tested with this hotspot, no way, because that was set for a duplex, and that's a simplex hotspot, so they're just cloning the cards. Well, this guy is for them anyway. B7 QSR, I think it was, yeah, him. Okay, so now we've got DMR switched on. It's looking better. So far we've had to change up here to simplex node. I mean, didn't have to switch all that off, but I prefer to. Put in your call sign, put in your DMR ID, change the frequency, change the hat. Now, if you didn't, like, I know that hat is the correct one, but if you didn't know that, there'd be a problem right there. Okay, so this should be right to go. So let's go to the admin. Now I'll just turn the radio on. Oh, wait a sec. I've got a hotspot running on 5051. I'll just unplug that. You can't have two. So yeah, we're running old firmware and old software, so the combination's pretty crook. Let's key up on talk group 91 and we'll see if this thing hears the radio. That's pretty good straight out of the box, 0.2% bit error rate. It's Friday night, so there's not much activity on Brandmeister. It's pretty quiet. We'll go to TAC 310. See if I can pick somebody up so we can receive some audio. I can cheat. I'll just turn my power supply on. If no one's there, I can actually come up on another radio and get into the system so we can see if we can hear ourselves, but we'll see what happens. There's no one around. Well, I haven't played with offset, so the hardware seems fine. I'm just going to go back into the config because what I'm seeing on the little LED display is not. It says, you see it there, it says 1 listening, 2 listening. I just dropped off. So I don't know why that says that. I've never seen that before. It could be just the Pi-Star version. Oh. Okay, so looks okay. Alright, let's go to, I might got a D-Star radio running here. I can get to Brandmeister Talk Group 91 on a reflector. Hopefully. Okay, so sorry guys, you can't see that, but hang on a sec, it's hearing so it's hearing traffic. Okay, so there's traffic on there. This thing's not hearing it. It's not coming up on the LED either. Right, so let's go into the config. Yeah, right, this is ready to QSO. Sure thing. Just going to have a look and see if he's played with offsets in here when he set it up. No. Well, it seems to be deaf. There's definitely traffic on Talk Group 91. Let's crank that radio down. Okay, so let's find out what's wrong. Time slot 2 is enabled. Talk Group 91 is enabled. We're on 5051. I wonder if there's a problem with 5051. We just might try a different reflector. master. All these things you got to do to find the happy spot, the sweet spot. So let's go to 3101 US. See whether changing the master is going to bring this thing alive. Because it definitely wasn't hearing any traffic, but it was receiving the radio, so the code plug in the radio was talking to the hotspot okay, so I suspect that we're not connecting to the network on the internet for some reason. Now I haven't run any updates on this, I've done nothing. What you see is what I've done. There's already traffic on there, there's somebody talking. The D-Star radio announces all the call signs.
Sierra Victor 2 Bravo Whiskey Mike. This is Delta Lima.
Well, there you go, it's not hearing anything. The radio's on Brandmaster Talk Group 91. You can see there. I'm not hearing anything. I'm just going to key up and see if I can see myself on the D-Star radio. Yep. Okay, so we'll do an audio check at least. VK4 November Golf Alpha testing. Okay, so we've got transmit but no receive. So we're halfway there. I was just coming through on the ICOM D-Star radio. Just there's a transcoding reflector that I can go to that listens to Brandmeister Talk Group 91. Oh, wait a sec, here we go.
The test call from Glenn. This is Mike 7 Tango Fox Golf returning.
Mike 7 Tango Fox Golf. This is VK4 November Golf Alpha. Thanks for coming back to me. Just trying out a new hotspot there. Name here is Glenn there, over.
Yeah, Mike 7 Tango Fox Golf returning. Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear here in Halifax in the north of England. I don't know whereabouts you are located, but no problem copying you nice and clear.
Yeah, QSL there, Tom. Thanks for that. Yeah, location is Queensland on the Sunshine Coast. Right, I won't hold it. I'm going to finish configuring this hotspot, but thanks for coming back to me. Appreciate it. VK4 November Golf Alpha 73s.
Glenn catches later somewhere down the log, and we'll have a bit longer chat. 73s from Tom in North Yorkshire, in Yorkshire, England.
Okay, so you can see it's not updated because it's got it. Oh, what the heck? I touched on his QRZ.com page. I'll just get this a bit bigger. You can see that there it's not showing it's not showing DMR IDs for everybody, so it hasn't had an update. Well, you saw what I had to do to get this ready to QSO hotspot from eBay to go, and it wasn't too hard for me. But if you're new to DMR, then if you're new to DMR and you're trying to get one of these babies to go, there's a lot to do from that supplier, and even then the image is old. It's a year old, more than a year old. So my advice, first of all, was it successful buying it off eBay? Yes, it was from an Australian seller whose supplies from China, obviously. Hardware wise, I give it a tick. It's all good. but probably the thing to do would be include an extra $8.50 in your calculations and go on eBay and buy from an Aussie seller, buy a 16 gig SanDisk Class 10 micro SD, put your own image on it, get your Wi-Fi set up, and then configure it for yourself. But basically, yeah, once you do that, you've got yourself a running hotspot. So yeah, they're not ready to go out of the box. I mean, have a look at what I had to do to get that to go, and then it looked like the local Brandmeister Australia server was off, so once I switched it over to the US server, I've got traffic coming through, but it's such an old image that I think if we ran update, why don't we try it? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's not talk about it, let's do it. Hope you guys can see that. Let's get the radio out of the way. Let's run update and see what happens to an old image when you hit update. That's the good thing about these touchscreens, you can make everything nice and big easily. Okay, so it's updating the DV binaries. That's probably going to take a while. Says it's running, so see if we kill the image by trying to update it. See, if you had a fresh image on there, a late model image, or the current image I should say, the update would be done by now. Oh, it's still a lot of stuff. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's not updating the host files properly. FCS host NXDN, talk group lists, P25, NXDN, YSF. So we'll just have a look and see what goes on there when it's finished. Updating the dashboard. So I think this is just too old to update really. I think it's way too old. Okay, it says it's finished, see what we've got. It's listening, so that's good. Okay, so we're still on 3.4.11, but we've got a current dashboard date. So yeah, there's no way that SD card tested this hotspot because the setup was completely wrong, as you saw. So these aren't tested, they just slap them together, clone a card, put it in and hope it goes, and hope you don't contact them. I'll just key up, see if this is still receiving. That's me transmitting on the other radio, so yep. Suppose we're on talk group 91, yes we are. Let's go to TAC 310. See if there's any traffic there. 235 to England. It's not, it should show the dynamic talk groups I've keyed up. There should be 3 in there now. There should be talk group 91, 310 and 235, and it's not showing that, so it's not, we may have killed it. But this time of the evening too, there's not much activity on 91. Let's get up on 91 again. Anyway, hardware wise, it's a goer. No offsets, and it's 0.2% bit error rate straight out of the box, so that's great. Well, the other radio received that key up then, so maybe there's just no one around. Anyway guys, hopefully that's helped you out if you're thinking about buying a hotspot off eBay. Maybe with a bit of work from you, it'll be fine. But there's plenty of information on the net anyway, so I don't want to ramble on about that. Okay, so I didn't hear that on the handheld. No, it's just a key up. Okay, yeah, so I think, you know, I built these two. This one was a bare board. I soldered the OLED on. As you can see, it's a dual colour display. I soldered the SMA on. Bit of work involved. You can really have difficulty in soldering the SMAs on them. But I managed to do it. This one here sits on Brandmeister. This one here is cross mode to System Fusion. So I really like these. I think these are really cool little devices. The only thing I do with them is stick a heatsink on them, on the processor, on the Pi Zero. Otherwise, and then I rotate the screen. You can see here the screen's upside down. You see that? Yeah, the screen's upside down. So I rotate the screen in the software, and then I set them upright. These are velcroed to the bench, so yeah, and just got the different antennas on them, which you can get off eBay for about $1.10 or something. So yeah, hardware get to tick, software terrible, not the latest image. So if you buy one off eBay, that's my recommendation. You throw away the SD card, you get yourself a good SD card, costs you $8.50, so it's not much more, and fire it up and teach yourself how to burn the image and get it onto your network, onto your Wi-Fi, and configure it up, and happy days. So yeah, I think all round this has actually been pretty successful. So I assume it works on System Fusion and on D-Star. I'm not going to test it now, but I'm assuming that if it works on one mode RF, it should work all round, because basically it's using all of the features on the board. But you know, sometimes you could get something you know, out of the box that's dead. But yeah, so there you go. So eBay purchase, successful this time, with a fair bit of work and a reasonable amount of prior knowledge to get it going. Alright, thanks guys for watching. 73s, hopefully that's helped you if you're going to, so if you're thinking about buying one off eBay, that's what you could be in for. Alright, catch you later.